Everybody, welcome back to the channel. And we are ending the year with some frustrations, some wish lists. I'm going to try to do a predictions video for 2025. Look back at my 2024 predictions. I know I almost got the Wells Fargo one right. We're going to go back and look at that. We are in the holiday season, and part of the holiday season would be Festivus if we believed in fictional TV shows. So in that spirit, I've got some frustrations. I have creator friends who have some frustrations, and we're going to talk about our frustrations with various reward programs, credit card issuers, and things like that. So I have brought back good friend of the channel and my co-host on the Stack Your Points podcast and just awesome creator in general, CallMeLani. He and I are going to talk about the Bilt card because we vent about this card all the time to each other, and I thought having one of those sort of conversations for y'all to watch would be a good idea. And so we do think that they did have some pretty big stumbles this year. They didn't have the best year. Things were going really well. Then they had this stumble in August, and it looks like they might have found a way to fix the ship a little bit and properly communicate. And so they've taken some of those criticisms that were lobbed at them to heart, which is good. And given the announcements that they've made for 2025, it looks like they've learned. So hopefully that all comes around. I'm going to say right now, my biggest frustrations with Bilt was the manner in which the terms and conditions changes were made in August for the October rent day, and that it didn't give a whole lot of time to properly plan for it. Now, it did give you more time than most companies would give you, but that was bad. And the way that they communicated it was bad. And the way that it just sort of left everything hanging was sort of bad, and they sort of realized it and they started rectifying it. And I'm happy that the looking forward email for 2025 that was sent from the office of Encore Jane that highlights things like mortgages are coming and gas and groceries seems to be a thing, and it looks like they've pivoted away from some other things, or maybe the student loans that were previously mentioned or healthcare initiatives, maybe those are going to take a little bit of a step back, but we'll see. So Lonnie and I get into all of that. We do talk about a more premium Bilt card at the end of the year. For my own personal wish list, I want to see Bilt status tiers actually get extra earnings. I want to see either a new flat cashback, a new flat earning card that could be useful, or a new card that comes in that is more premium that can compete and add additional competition to the Sapphire Reserves, the Amex Platinums, the Venture X's of the world, because more competition is good, and Chase and American Express badly need someone to step up and throw a punch at them, because they have just gotten complacent, the two of them. American Express more so on the lounge side of things. Chase has to keep pushing forward on that, but somebody's got to come up with a new premium card that just throws a punch. They only have to throw one, but throw a punch. So if Bilt is that company, great. Bilt mortgages are interesting. I think the most interesting thing is the idea of lease retention offers for Bilt cards. That's going to be huge, because it's not a welcome offer, but it's sort of taking the American Express retention offer and building it into your living experience with your either property management company, or if you're leasing from someone directly, the ability to re-up your lease and get 40,000 Bilt points, 60,000 Bilt points, something thousand Bilt points on top of your typical rent. That'd be nice. So that's exciting to me. Other things, I want neighborhood grocery and gas defined as early as possible, implemented as early as possible, and damn, I want them with partners I use with gas stations and grocery stores I go to. But we can only find out soon. Anyway, this is the interview with Lonnie. Now, quick note on this. The full unedited interview is going to be up on the members only side of my page. If you want to watch that, check out my membership. Probably going to be doing this going forward with permission from anyone else I speak with at length. Just putting it, this is the conversation we had. Check it out. May or may not be. I'm just going to put it up for my members. So there you go. Full conversation is in the memberships. So $2.99 a month if you want to join. Hugely appreciate it. If not, totally understand. Check out the pinned comments for other ways to support me outside of YouTube. Thank you for a wonderful year here on YouTube. We crossed 1,000 subscribers. We got monetized. We crossed 1,500 subscribers. We are on our way to 2,000 ever so slowly, but I am excited for that. and I'm looking forward to see what happens next. But I appreciate you all. Happy holidays. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. And once again, I'm joined by Lonnie from CallMeLani. Lonnie, how are you today?
Feeling good, looking great. Happy holiday or whatever you choose to celebrate to you and everyone watching. How you doing, man?
Absolutely. Not too bad. How are you? I just asked you how you're doing. No, I'm doing good. I just wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit. You're one of YouTube's bigger Bilt fans. You have the card, you experience the card, you have the kind of experience with it that few others who talk about the card and talk about how great it is do. So I just wanted to kind of reach out because this year has been a weird year for Bilt. It's been somewhat transformative. It's been uh, turbulent lately, but it also seems like they have sort of fixed the plane, taken it out of that. I don't want to call it a tailspin. Tailspins are unrecoverable, but they've taken it out of the stall, it seems.
Well, they parked it in the hangar.
Oh, okay. So, with that, what was your level of frustration with the changes that were announced kind of in August? We had a mini therapy session on the Stack Your Points podcast, but let's use this space to kind of flesh it out a little bit more. So, where were you on those changes? Have you changed perspective on it? What do you think of what's going on?
I think you and I have a mini therapy session on Bilt at least once a month at minimum, usually twice on average. But yeah, Bilt definitely brought some frustrating changes. Now, before I even get into all of that, I want to make it perfectly clear. I still don't see Bilt as a bad card. I think it is 100% a great card for now, after these changes, even a more niche subset group of people. Like, if you rent, period, full stop, plain flat, period, Bilt is a great card. But before these changes, if you didn't rent, it was also a great card. And I think some of those changes are where a lot of the swirl within the community, the noise within the grapevine, those types of things are now coming in, myself included, because before a lot of the changes, Bilt was a great earning card. Now, anyone that's been to my channel, has come to my channel, watched a single video of mine, that at some point you have heard that I am more of an earner than a burner. I am the point stack guy. I like to stack my points, get as many points as possible for every dollar that I spend, for every time I use a card, for every transaction that I make. Not just, is it a bonus category on a card, but can I stack this with Honey or Rakuten or Dining Portal or Shopping Portal, or all these different tools and resources that are available out there to get as many points as possible. Now, right out of the gate, Bilt fit perfectly into point stacking, starting off with their rent day, because you could get 10,000 bonus points on the first day of the month if you just saved a lot of your transactions. So, for example, for those that aren't aware, on rent day, you get all your bonus categories doubled. So anything outside of rent would that normally get 1 point per dollar, got 2. And then travel went from 2 to 4 and dining went from 3 to 6. But the thing is in most cases, a large purchase, unless it's a life event, good or bad, hey, I'm about to buy a car, or maybe your car broke down or something of that nature. Most large purchases, are coming. No one really nowadays walks into like a Best Buy and says, oh, you know what? Sure, I'll take that 85-inch TV. Why not? Because you probably brought your Tesla, which is what my wife normally does. She takes the smallest car in the house and always wants to buy the biggest item sporadically when we're out in public. And I'm like, how is that going to fit in the car when you got a car seat and me and a Tesla Y? Like, it's not going to fit. But I say all of that because if you knew you were going to have a big purchase, call it a new TV, call it, say, a $3,000 TV. Well, I'm just going to wait till the first of the month to buy it, because I'm going to turn that 3,000 purchase into a 6,000 point purchase. Those types of things. And so when they nerfed it, I believe they announced it early, but it officially launched in October. They took 10,000 and dropped it down to 1,000. And that was a huge hit for me, because I was making so many Bilt points by just preparing for the first of the month. Just like, you know what? I want this to come up. I want this to come up. I want this to. my 5 transactions, I'll probably be 8 transactions on the first of the month, and being able to get 5,000 extra points. Only a few times that I max out at the 10. I'll be completely honest, but I did max out at 10 a couple of times before that ended up getting nerfed. That was a huge hit for me. And the other aspect, going back to rent, when, in my personal life change, I got the card when I rented, but then later I bought the house that I live in now. And so after that transition in my life, the only way I could really get that many points, because I wasn't getting rent points anymore, obviously, was to use it on everyday spend. But that's what ended up getting nerfed, and that's what kind of killed it for me. And I know it killed it for so many other people. I have friends that also own homes, and even in their daily life, I had to convince them, go get the Bilt card. Like, trust me, here's how I use it. Here's how you can use it. And they all fell in love with it as homeowners. Now, mortgages have been announced. They are coming back. So we'll see what happens after that particular change. But to answer your question, I know it's a very long way of saying it. I had to deprioritize it for the travel strategy or the credit card strategy that I use, because I want to get as many points as possible. The insurances, the benefits, cell phone protection, CDW, the car rental insurance, that is, for those that don't know what CDW is, are all great, but I got them on other cards. So it really kind of just deprioritized Bilt as a earner for me, and that was the most enticing factor to them.
No, I can definitely see that frustration. And, I knew that was going to be an issue for folks. The sudden drop from being able to get 5,000 in spend, and it got cut all the way down to 500 in spend if you were doing the double points. I knew that would be an issue. The bigger issue to me was kind of like, as we mentioned at the time on Stack Your Points, was the 4-point font. Like, have they updated or changed your perception of them with the way that they came out and got in front of things like gas is coming, neighborhood gas is coming, neighborhood grocery is coming, mortgage is coming, the way that they communicated the house purchase, and even some other things that I think are going to be super enticing to renters, like lease agreement, lease extension, or lease refreshing, that kind of becoming Bilt's retention offer.
They even formally announced HOAs can be used. Like, they never really formally announced that before as well. And now they formally said, oh yeah, you can do your HOAs through your ACH from your Bilt card now. Formally, like, it's officially on the books. It's not a trick. It's not a hack. It's not a stack anymore. They have said that.
Co-op fees as well.
Exactly. But yeah, to go back to your question, and I wasn't even gonna, I was so upset about the original email with the 3.9 point font on how they announced that October change of coming. Once again, I think Matt called me in the middle of the day. It was like, yo, did you see that email? You called me quick. I'm like, yeah, I saw it. He's like, no, did you read the email? But I'll say this, that especially in this credit card game, and not only in our Stack Your Points podcast, I've said it in videos, I'll say it in the Discord, these credit card companies, these bank issuers, they owe us nothing as consumers. They can do whatever they want, and we just have to take it, and there's nothing you can do. It's take it or leave it. Those are your only two options. So if Bilt makes a change, it's like, cool, I'm not going to use my Bilt card, or I'm going to cancel a card. In the same way as, Amex is raising the annual fee on the gold card and adding a Dunkin' Donuts credit. If you don't like it, get rid of the card. But this is where we're going. It's take it or leave it. That type of relationship requires a lot of trust. Now, I'm not saying like trust that the credit card company, the bank, or the issuer are going to do the best thing for us, but trust on the communication aspect. And Bilt poorly handled that particular aspect of communication. Up until then, their communication was probably top notch out of any other card, especially in my wallet, but even the ones that are not in my wallet. I think they were creme de la creme when it came to communicating their program, their policies, how to use their product, and then also any type of changes that were coming to their product. So when they sent out that first email before about the October transition, I don't remember when it went out, like August or September or something like that.
Yeah.
It was the first time where I felt like I can't trust their communication. Like they'll try to sneak something in, slide something in under the radar. And that also didn't sit well with me. Let's call it what it is, because that's not what I was used to from them. Now, all that aside, they just had another email within the last few weeks where they are announcing changes coming into 2025, new programs, new partnerships, new strategies that cardholders can take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
I literally hit reply on that verbatim saying, this is how you communicate. I know it went to Ankar. For all he didn't see it, it's probably not even his direct email that he uses on a daily basis, but still, that's how you communicate. And that started bringing in back some of that trust. Now, going back to your first question, a lot of that stuff that's coming, mortgages, as you mentioned, gas, grocery. They had just launched pharmacy partnership with Walgreens.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are good and they're great. Like, I don't live next to a Walgreens particularly. I don't shop there often, but when I'm at home in Illinois, which I'm about to do over this holiday, I will. They're all over Illinois.
Yep.
It's like the Wayne Reed in Manhattan. They're all over Illinois. And so this is something I would be able to look for or take advantage of in 2025, depending on, well, not just the Walgreens thing, but all these other changes. Something I could look forward to and possibly take advantage of in 2025. And even if I can't, if I'm not buying another house, doing closing fees, what about the mortgages? But a lot of people watching and listening right now, they may be looking to buy a house. They may be looking to make those types of transitions. So it's still important information to get out to the people in the proper way. And I think they did that. And then now it's on creators like yourself and myself to make sure that people are properly educated on that. But it's going to be a much better conversation knowing that I was armed with the proper information directly from the company.
Yeah, definitely. That email, I wouldn't say that email kind of was a cure-all, but that email definitely went much further than it would have if they hadn't taken that misstep.
Yep.
Because if it was just like another, oh, this is something to be excited about, like, yes, that's great, but that email felt like it was handled with more care than it otherwise would have been.
Yes, I think you're hitting the nail on the head, because even though that was a positive email and it was a feel good email,
Mm-hmm.
I was still skimming for fine print,
Right.
because I got burned before.
Now, that's not to like say that, oh, Bilt has completely fixed everything. They haven't. But
No.
I do think that the way that they presented the 2025, like some of the 2025 changes, it's vague and gives them opportunity to come back again with another email when they highlight like what's going to happen. And
Yes.
maybe those will be the 3-point font changes, but like will be, because of what happened in August, now we'll more vigilantly check for those 3-point font changes going
Exactly.
forward.
Yeah. One, get rid of 3-point font. 10 is just fine. We can all read
Yes.
10 just as fine. We don't have to like zoom in onto our screens, hit control plus to read it. But at the same time, like I said, it was a feel good email. It actually, from a product standpoint, also makes me feel good about Bilt as a product in this competitive space, not as a creator, not as a card holder, but just a product in the competitive space. Because I said this in one of my very first Bilt videos I ever did, is that Bilt is creating differentiation. They are doing things different in the game that other cards aren't doing. And I feel like we lost a little bit of that in 2024, but that email also kind of like brought it back, saying, here's where we want to be the leader in innovation and differentiation in the credit card space and in people's everyday lives. Like, there's not a lot of credit cards that will support the roof over your head. Bilt is
Right.
probably the leader in that, and they're doubling down on that. How many of us have prescriptions now? Like, it's a common thing in nowadays.
Yep.
If you went back 20 years ago, you having to go to Walgreens for a prescription was rare. You were sick or got pulled out of school. Now it's like, I need to take a red pill for this and a blue pill for that and the green pill for, on Tuesdays. We all have some type of prescription in some way. So they're getting back into those, or leaning. Yes, I'll say leaning. They're leaning deeper into those everyday expenses that are normally looked over outside of like a Freedom Unlimited or Freedom Flex card.
Right.
I still say one of those cards should keep pharmacy. The other card should change it
Yep.
up a little, but that is
That's a
not the
different
issue.
topic for a different day.
Exactly. That is, wait for my chase video. But were there any other frustrations, things that you wanted to kind of like get out about Bilt, or have they largely, I wouldn't say fixed the issue, because there's still that bit of mistrust, but like, is there anything else that you want to, vent, or let it be known is still a frustration for you with Bilt?
Not necessarily a frustration, but there are some requests. So
Okay.
can I pass a note to the DJ over there?
Yeah, I guess that could then lead into kind of the last portion of this, which was, what is your wish list in the spirit of the holidays? What is your wish list for Bilt for 2025? They've said that they're going to do a lot of things. Mortgages are coming. There's the housing cost half point. There's, as I said, co-ops, the ability to kind of get like retention point offers on re-upping your lease with your mortgage, with your renter, gas, grocery, all of that. Like, there's a lot of stuff there, but like your wish list.
For sure. And let's not get my wish list confused with frustration. So that's why I'm saying I have requests.
Sure.
And the first thing is their status tiers. I have mentioned this plenty of times. Like, their status tiers need to make more sense. I understand the aspect of having a status tier. I think it's great to have a credit card with status tiers, not just gives me status at IHG or gives me status at Hilton, but actually it statuses within the credit card space, because that will entice people to put spend on the card. Now, in 2024, I had platinum status. I earned it like literally within the last 2 weeks of 2023, when all you had to earn was 100,000 Bilt points within a year, and then you would get platinum status. Starting in January of 2024, they raised that 100,000 up to 200,000, and then added what they call fast track. So if you put $50,000 worth of non-rent spend on the card, you'll be fast tracked straight to platinum. Of course, there's lower tiers for lower amounts of money, or you could earn 200,000 points, period, with even including your rent, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 200,000 points total, and that would also get you platinum. Now, the 100,000 I got in 2023 did include rent, because I was renting at, within 2023 when I first got the card. So that's how I was able to do it. There's absolutely no way I probably would have done it without rent. And like I said, a lot of major purchases, because obviously, as I mentioned, I was buying a home, buying new high end, well, not necessarily high end, but high priced items, new couches, new appliances, things like that. So I was just taking advantage of that first of the month. And that's how I was able to do it. Now, there's the status before. Now, the issue of it is the perks that you get with those statuses. And between having nothing and having gold, there's really not a big difference at whatsoever. So it's like, I went from blue to silver. What did you get? Is it worth it? Nothing, right? You get something, but it's like nothing. Gold, silver to gold, same thing. It's a step up, and you might get like a milestone reward, but you're not getting really anything extra except for what formerly used to be rent day perks, which was like transfer bonus boosts. Like, instead of getting 100% boost, or instead of like transferring points, you can get 100% boost if you had gold status, or maybe 150 if you had platinum. The transfer bonus stuff for travel also kind of, let's call it what it is, it kind of fell off. We haven't seen it in a while. And when we do see it, it's the first thing that the community just jumps on is, how do I backdoor this? Where it used to be, it's just like, oh, you could transfer it to American. Cool. Like, it's a 1-to-1 ratio of transfer my points to the partner that I want to use them on. But then it like, let's go to British Airways. I'm just using names for example. It's like, well, now I can do that, but I have to backdoor those British Airways points or those Alaskan miles so that I can use the not Star Alliance, but the Airline Alliance to get them. Yeah, I use the Airline Alliance to get them over to American so I can book something on over here. It was, and let's just be real. There's a very small subset of us that even know what I'm talking about right now, but there's a broader group of people that aren't watching YouTube, aren't hitting subscribe button, aren't watching our videos, that have no idea what we're talking about and don't know about those options. And I think that's where a lot of those problems are, because like if I don't fly Alaskan, which I don't, let's just say I'm an average person that's not in this credit card game, I would have found that as not valuable to me. And that's a huge miss for their card holders as a whole. Now, the last aspect of it is these status tiers, and I can attest to them because I'm platinum for another 2.5, 3 weeks until like January 15th, is that all the perks that I got from platinum, other than this candle they sent me, which it's great. I love it. It smells great. I never lit it because I don't like candles. But there's once again a separate story about that later. But they sent me a candle, and that was great because I had never really gotten a gift from an airline before, except for like my 1K status. I get my like 1K like bag tag, like the standout with United every single year. You know, it's like, hey, baggage handlers, don't kick my bag tag. Really, that's what it really is.
You have no idea how much this person spends with our airline. Just leave the bag alone.
Right. Do not damage that bag. But all the status perks that I got from Platinum with Bilt were primarily only available in places I don't live or visit. And so it's like, if I lived in Manhattan, oh yeah, I would love it. It would have been great, but I don't. I actually live almost as far away from Manhattan as you can in this country without leaving the lower 48 states, that is. And I had one trip to New York this year, and I like burned 2 of my platinum perks like within just a matter of days. And it's because that was the only time I could do it. It's the only time I could take advantage of them. And so if I had status anywhere else in the country, like let's think of our good friend John R, literally in the center of the country.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to take advantage of anything. No offense to John, but I'm just saying geographically, he won't be able to take advantage of anything. And I think that is a huge miss. They need to make their status perks more valuable and more inclusive geographically to all their card holders. Now, I know a lot of card holders are in New York. I know a lot of card holders are in LA, but it's still geographically focused on that northeastern side of the US. And I think that definitely needs to change. The other aspect of it is after I earn your highest tier, if I do anything to earn 200,000 points or put $50,000 worth of spend on your card within a year, I should, gosh darn tootin', without cussing on Matt's channel, get something that other people don't get. And what I mean by that is once you hit platinum, you still earn the same amount as blue as someone that didn't have. Like there's no extra earning category. You don't get an extra boost. I think once you hit platinum, you should be able to hit 2x on everything. Your all other purchases should be 2x. Travel stays travel, dining stays dining, rent day stays rent day. But for all other purchases, it should turn to 2x for as long as you hold on to platinum. When it falls off, that perk falls off too. It will be something that could entice more people to actually put actual spend on the card outside of, I'm going to put my rent on there, and then I'm going to, like Matt, like you said, I'm going to go buy 4 bananas from the grocery store so that I can get my 5 transactions. Because when you really think about it, I have an IHG Premier card. If I put only $40,000 on that card, I get IHG Diamond status.
Right.
So I saved $10,000. I actually got something I can use across the globe versus just on the island of Manhattan. If I had a Hilton card at $30,000, like an Aspire card, $30,000, you get an extra free night of reward. Yeah, and another at $60,000. So I can get 2 free nights awards for the cost of $10,000 more than Platinum on the Bilt card. And I think Surpass is $15,000. You get a free night award. And so that's significantly less than $50,000 and something that's more inclusive and it could be redeemed as more valuable. So I think they need to change how they look at their status tiers. One, I think is great, but it did not benefit me at all in 2024, except for a really cool ride back to the airport from Manhattan to EWR. I did take advantage of that and it was absolutely great. And I 100% recommend paying for it no matter what, just like even if you just did it once. The next, ACH. I know they're very particular about their ACH and like, oh, you're only supposed to use it for rent or you're only supposed to use it for your HOA. But if it only gets 1 point per dollar, no matter what, just open it up. Just say, feel free, use your ACH. Anything that goes to ACH just gets 1x. So if you want to use it for your cell phone bill, so a lot of people know that, like, I used to work in tech for Verizon. Like, if you did auto pay with a checking account, you can get up to $10 off on your bill every month. So if I could use my Bilt ACH, the checking routing number on my Verizon account, I could end up saving $10. That's $120 a year. And it's still going through Bilt. Bilt's still getting their money because it's still going through them. But at least I can do that. Now, that's a really bad example because you could just use you're going to get 1 point anyway. So you can just use your card and then you'll get the cell phone protection. I understand. I'm just using that as an example of how many things actually take ACH that you could actually use in other aspects. I know, like your car insurance, maybe your renter's insurance, those types of things. Just open up ACH so anyone can use it. Maybe I can pay off a car loan with it. So I know some people say they have car loans that can take ACH. Those types of things. I think that would be great. Put the down payment on your Tesla with it.
The one thing you're missing from that, like, now infamous email from Encore was that email had stated that they were also looking into other ways to provide value, stuff like student loans and healthcare. That might be the way they get the student loan aspect going through. This way you're not like paying debt with debt. You're just they're just going to be a middleman and give you points and go from there.
That's a much better example than your cell phone bill. Yeah, pay your student loans with Bilt ACH and get 1x or half a point, like they're doing with the closing fees with new homeowners. And then last but not least, my one request, and this one was actually answered, is one, give us a date on mortgages. They've already announced it. So at this point, I can't say like, when is it coming? We know it's coming, but now can we have a more finite date? This could be the difference for someone like putting an offer in on a house. And that's the reason why. Like, you would hate to find out you could have bought a Lamborghini for 90% off yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like, all right, tomorrow we're opening up mortgages, and then be like, man, I just bought a house last week. Like, hurry up and at least provide at least a inkling of a date for those people that are looking to make that home transition this year.
Or even better than a date. I absolutely see where you're coming from with a date. Just give us the list of the mortgage partners that are going to be available for 1x.
Also, yes, because that could be a huge difference on who you want your home loan to go through.
Right. Like the purpose of it is mortgage. So like, if I get, and these are the partners for mortgage, like, okay, cool. I'll go get my mortgage through them. And then when it's launched, then I piece it together.
Right. Because actually, that's, once again, thank you, Matt, because that's even one step ahead of my request. Because if I know, let's just say you're looking to get a mortgage through your local credit union, but you have an option to get it through, I'm just going to use Wells Fargo because they're partnered with Wells Fargo. And then you put mortgages coming either way. So do not wait for Bilt to like open up mortgages to buy your house. Y'all go put that offer in when you're ready and financially set to put that offer in, because mortgages will come eventually. But that could be the difference of I went to my credit union versus I went to Wells Fargo, which could actually end up benefiting me. So you're 100% right there. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to just chime in on that one, just because like date would be cool, but knowing where you're going to get your points is probably better.
Yeah. Then if anything else, I would just say, being that they are very fitness focused company as well, and for obvious reasons, if y'all don't know, put it in the comments. Just put it in the comments. But trust me, Ankar is very fitness focused for an obvious reason. But let's open that up to, once again, other companies that are more inclusive. So if you want to do I know like Amex does Equinox. Equinox is not everywhere. But like Planet Fitness is almost everywhere. I'm saying they're more geographically inclusive. Planet Fitness is, 24-hour fitness, maybe just a local spot, like a small business mom and pop gym. Just open up fitness. If you're going to have that as a status perk or a perk of the card, open up fitness, maybe even make that a new bonus category, just because it will be more inclusive for other folks. So I don't have to live in New York City to take advantage of all the perks and benefits that come with the card plus status.
Right. No, definitely. I would love, like, I know that Peloton thing on the Sapphire Reserve and the Sapphire Preferred is supposed to expire in March. They've still got time to extend that, but like something like Peloton, Hydro, even like buying your own equipment for home and like the memberships there should account for something.
Yeah, like I think the home gym, the digital home gym phase, I think is still very, very right. I know Lululemon had the mirror, and I know that it got, deprecated or whatnot, but Tonal's still out there. There's a lot of other outside of Peloton is what I'm saying. Nordic Track still does it. There's a lot of other things out there where there's a room to grow. Like Chase and Peloton is not the end all be all.
No,
there's so much more that could be added that could still help with fitness goals.
On that, no, I'll bring that up with the Chase video, but like I want Chase's pay over time with Peloton. That's the only thing kind of holding me up from buying a rower from Peloton. Anyway, another video. The only other thing I wanted to touch on, there is inklings that there will be another card of some sort from Bilt. Maybe a platinum, maybe a premium card, maybe something more geared toward even more everyday spend. If Bilt is to announce a new product, a new card, what direction do you want to see them go, and what would entice you for it? Allowing for speculation. I know you don't really like to speculate, but like Lonnie's dream Bilt card, what's it look like?
Oh, that's a hard question. I won't necessarily say here's my dream Bilt card, because I think Bilt is already putting themselves as not necessarily the one card to rule them all, but they're doing a really good job for $0 annual fee for the amount of value and benefits that they provide. Now, if they were to introduce another product, I'm going to leave business out of it. So no business card. I'm going to leave it as a separate personal card. You and I have also had this conversation plenty of times where if I had to choose, like, what of them was going to die between the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Bilt card, which one would you save?
I save the Bilt card.
I would save the Bilt card. I 100%, you and I, of course, agree on this. I think the Bilt card has made the Chase Sapphire Preferred irrelevant, where I would just go with the Bilt card and save $95 a year. If you're only doing it to get a $50 hotel credit, it's actually just cheaper to spend the $50, like, period. And you're getting the same transfer part. For the most part, you're getting a lot of the same transfer partners. You're getting all 4 big hotels. Let's just call it what it is. You're getting all 4 big hotel brands, which Chase doesn't have. And you'll still get 1.25 in their Bilt travel portal, the same as the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I use their travel portal for activities, book tours, book tickets to Legoland, book tickets to Disneyland. And they're not necessarily inflated, but at the same time, of course, everything's a little inflated in a travel portal, usually up to about 3%. And that fluctuates. Don't come at me in the comments. Everything's a little inflated. Same as DoorDash, same as Instacart. Shut up, y'all. I know it.
It's a convenience fee.
It's not heavily inflated, is my point. And if you're sitting on a bunch of Bilt points, like I said, I was sitting on over 100,000 of them. I could either have paid $400 to get my family into Legoland and Disneyland in a weekend, or I could just use these Bilt points kind of sitting there, which not necessarily sitting there, but they have a purpose. And I still got 1.25 cents per point for doing it. I actually enjoy Bilt's travel portal. Will I use it like Chase's? Probably not, because I earn more Chase points, 10x in the travel, but in 1.5 on my Sapphire Reserve. But I say all this is because if they were to release another product, I would want to see them just skip over the middle and go straight to a premium travel card. straight
Okay.
up, just go straight to like, maybe, I know once again, y'all got to come at me. Go to a $400, $450, $500 annual fee card that can compete with Platinum, Venture X, Chase Sapphire Reserve. Like, just full stop, just go all in. Now, what does that look like? Well, that's dependent on a lot of their competitors in that particular premium travel space. You might need different transfer partners or more in transfer partners. So you got the zero card, here's this, you have the annual fee card, here's everything else added on to it. Or maybe that would have the 1.5 in their travel portal, like a Chase Sapphire Reserve. Maybe as they have MasterCard and MasterCard World Elite Concierge, which if you watch Anthony Venture, you can actually get a lot of those same like $100 credit, free breakfast for 2 per day.
Yep.
Maybe create a FHR Chase the Edit for Bilt. Create a product for that as well, because that just goes back to that necessarily one card to rule them all aspect. But Bilt has really built a great foundation on people that want to get into travel and then earn points on their daily lifestyle that other cards don't touch, as we already mentioned earlier in this video. With a combination of that, might keep someone that only has one card, put all that card on Bilt. They're not looking for 2, 3, 10, 15 cards like the most of us in this community is. The non-credit card enthusiasts may be like, I only need one card. And I think that's the market they should engage with a separate product. And that's the type of direction they should take. Not necessarily compete in the game of us as creators and credit card enthusiasts, but for those that are not as savvy as we are, that only have 1 or 2 cards, you should just say, we're just going to be the one card for that group of people.
Now, and I kind of have to just to let my mind wander a little bit here. What if this card is, let's say it's $550?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to give you some random amount of travel credit, undefined as of right now. You'll get 10 times points in the Bilt portal for hotels, rental cars, and Bilt attractions. You'll get 3 times points on dining, 3 times points on travel. It's an expansive travel category. They fix their travel, and 2 times points on everything else. If 2 times points on everything else, more if you're platinum and has Bilt neighborhood established.
Yeah, you know what? Only because of the hotel aspect. Now we're having some fun here. This is fun. I would even go as far as like, so they did a promotion with Marriott in 2024. It only end of 2023, early 2024. It only lasted like 60 or 90 days or something like that. You get either, I remember one you got gold and the other one you got globalist for a short amount of time, and you had to like stay 15 or 20 times. Keep me honest here. And you could have kept globalist for the rest of the year.
Hyatt Globalist Challenge. Yep.
Exactly. Going back to the status tiers. So if this is going to be a premium annual fee card, keep staying in that $500-ish range, right? Let's say you get gold status with 1 or 2 of their partners, kind of like the Amex Platinum does Hilton and Marriott. Doesn't have to be Hilton and Marriott, but you get gold status. But if you hit Bilt Platinum status, what if that gave you the Hilton Diamond status as well? Like, okay, you can get silver gold just by holding it. But if you actually use this card as your everyday card, your one and only card, like I said, for that small subset of people, not us as credit card enthusiasts. I'm talking about the people that's not watching this video right now, which is way larger than the people that are. No offense to Matt. We're just speaking percentages here.
Yep.
Like one of my best friends at work, she loves her Bilt card. And I talk to her about it all the time. She asks me questions about it, like how can I get more value and things like that. And it's literally like the only credit card that she has. And I'm thinking of her. Yes, go pay $550 for it, and I guarantee that you're going to get more value back than that, because the way that you use the card, you're going to get this status. You're going to spend more than $50K on there, so you'll get even better status. You're going to get these extra perks. You're going to get, like you said, like a travel credit of some kind, et cetera, et cetera. That would be a great option. And to be honest, if they did that, that might honestly ruin a couple of cards, even in my wallet. Probably. don't get ahead of me. It won't be my CSR. It would not be my CSR. As of right now, it would not. But we got to see. If they did 1.5, it gave me everything my CSR did. And I said this because I'm an advocate of I'll never cancel it. They gave me everything 1-to-1 that my CSR gave me through the Bilt travel portal for a lower annual fee. It might be on the chopping block. This is very hypothetical between you and I right now. I get it. But at the same time, everybody has a price. And if I cannot lose anything and keep everything and then some, come on, man.
All right. Lonnie, anything else you wanted to throw out here? We've gone a little long, but I enjoy our chats and hopefully the community will as well.
Yeah, I don't think we went long. I think it was a great conversation and a brain trust of picking of the minds. But no, I got nothing else to say. Like I said, I know we're getting to that time of year where things are getting busy. So if you took some time out of your day for myself or Matt and or both of us during this busy holiday period, away from your family, away from whatever it is you got to do, I appreciate it. And once again, however you celebrate this time of year, happy holiday to you.
Absolutely. Happy holiday. You can find Lonnie at the CallMeLani YouTube channel. That's CallMeLani, as he likes to let us know on the podcast. Lonnie, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. And I will be speaking to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one, guys.